Hello there. I'm Brad Loomis, professional natural bodybuilder and master powerlifter. I'm a contest prep coach for powerlifters and cosmetic athletes with 3D Muscle Journey. I'm also sponsored by AST Sports Science and proud to represent their brand. However, that's not all that I am. I'm also a devoted family man, a CAT scan tech, and a devout Catholic. A life like mine is not at all glamorous, at least not as some would lead you to believe. Don't get me wrong, there are some high points, but it's mostly just a lot of hard work. And it's quite boring, especially for a guy like me, with below average genetics for bodybuilding and only putting up average to maybe above average numbers in powerlifting. However, that didn't really matter to me. I love my life as a family man, and I love my life as a coach. However, I really love to train. I don't train to compete. I compete on occasion because I love to train. And this is my grind.
Hello again, 3DMJers. Gonna go over my powerlifting meet that I did last weekend. Got some footage here, some of it pretty decent, some of it not, but nonetheless documenting the whole journey. And this was a very good meet, a very productive meet, a very fun meet. And I guess first of all, let me kind of set up the entire context of this meet. So first of all, my protege that I've been mentoring for his senior project that you all saw in episode 6, Luke Campbell, was doing this meet as well. This is his first official powerlifting meet. The one that we documented in episode 6 was kind of a fun, kind of a push-pull meet, kind of to get his feet wet. Highly, recommended for your first timers is just kind of get your feet wet doing something fun. This was an actual USAPL full power meet with the intent of 2 goals. Number 1, qualifying for USAPL Raw Nationals, which I think I want to say for he's only 18 years old, so for his age, I think he only needs like about an 800 or 900 pound total. And then number 2, his real goal is 1,000 pounds. And then secondly, for me, myself, really my big goal this year is to compete at Raw Nationals again in Atlanta this October and hopefully compete at a pretty high level in my age group, the Masters group. So I'm already qualified in the 74 kg class with my silver medal that I got last year. So really my goal was to, number 1, get a total that will qualify me for the 83 kg class as well, because then I can kind of look at my competition and see where I might fare better. And then number 2, of course, always improve. Let's get some new PRs. Let's get some bigger lifts, some bigger totals overall. So easily made the weight class. I'm walking around about 179 pounds right now. And so I did do a little bit of a water cut, but not that I needed to. I just wanted to get a better idea, where my Wilks would be with a little bit lighter body weight. And so I just basically restricted my carbs, my water, and my sodium intake on Thursday and Friday, made 176 pounds, which is about 80 kilos for weight on Saturday morning. So some of the footage that you're going to see here, we used a combination of my son's GoPro camera and then our phones. Some of it's good, some of it's not, but nonetheless, like I said, I've got documentation. Luke started out with a 270 pound opener. Basically, what we felt was probably about a 3 rep max in the gym. So obviously something that he could easily do. So we got his opener on with the GoPro camera, so you can kind of see it's not the greatest of footage, but we got it nonetheless. And then my opener, you guys saw my practice of my attempts. I went ahead and did 180 kg, which is 396 pounds. So here those are for you.
Remember your commands, Luke. Lock out.
Great job, Luke.
Alrighty, so both of them, very easy. So Luke wanted to get a 300-pound squat. He's never done that before. So we didn't want to jump straight from 270 to 303 or 308, whatever it was that he did was his ultimate goal. But somewhere in between, okay? So I can't remember exactly what we did, but I want to say it was roughly 290-ish pounds, like 294, maybe 292 is what it was. And then for me, I wanted to get a new PR. My PR is 424 pounds. So I shot for something just short of that. I think I did 418 if I recall correctly. So again, bear with the footage. This is a GoPro camera. It's got that big fisheye, but here's those lifts. Now the third attempt. Luke, I believe, chose 308, which is a lifetime PR for him. And then me, myself, I was reluctant to go too far above my current PR of 424 pounds. Simply because my mesocycle of training, I didn't really touch heavy loads much. So I went for a new PR, 430 pounds. And here those lifts are. A little bit better footage, but here's those lifts.
Come on, Luke, stick with it! Stop!
You could see I was not expecting that to feel that easy. So that's a tribute really to Coach Helms and his programming, because even though I didn't feel like the mesocycle was very hard and that I wasn't touching those heavy numbers like I thought that I should be, the results speak for themselves. I probably could have gotten 200 kg, maybe even a little bit heavier on that lift. So nonetheless, it was a new PR. So far, both Luke and I, 3 for 3 onto the bench press. Luke started out with something very doable, something that we felt like could really, he could just about, get in his sleep, about 225 pounds. So that's where he started. He's a little bit nervous because the meet that we did before was, a fun meet. This one, they're a little bit more picky. Me, myself, I was feeling very confident in my bench press. So I chose 130 kg, which I want to say is 285 pounds. So here's those lifts. The wheels kind of started to come off just a little bit, more so for Luke than for myself. So he got 245 pounds at his little push-pull meet, and so we wanted to at least tie that. And I'm not really sure what happened, but nonetheless, Luke felt the need, to get his butt off of the bench in order to get that lift. So he got it, but as we all know, 2 red lights doesn't count. And unfortunately, that was the way it went for both his second and his third attempts. The third one being, some of you gym rats that are out there, sometimes you'll have a little bit of a timing thing where you kind of will go like that, and you cannot double bounce at the bottom. So unfortunately, both of Luke's attempts at 242-ish pounds, something like that, were red lighted. So at least he got his opener. But no goes on the second and third attempt. Me, myself, I lost my head a little bit, which I never do. But I got a really good clean lift off on my second attempt. And keep in mind, my second attempt, I was going for what is essentially a meet PR for me. I've never done more than 300 pounds, and I was going for 303. And I got a perfect lift off from a big, strong guy in our gym by the name of Jesse. And I got a little bit excited because it was effortless. I got set, I started the descent, and I heard the start command as I was coming down. So right then I thought I had screwed up. I went ahead and just paused on my chest real quickly and just tried. I figured, you know what, this attempt is going to be no good. I'm just going to shove it up there and rack it, save as much energy as I can. Alrighty, so then unbeknownst to me, I got 2 red lights, not because of the start command. The head judge that actually gave me the start command actually gave me a white light. But in my hastiness to just save energy and get that press done, I lifted my butt off the bench. So in hindsight, I probably should have gone for a little bit heavier attempt, 308. But you know what, I thought, my goal here is a PR. And I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to stick to my goal and then go ahead and get that lift. And you'll see in the footage here, it was very, very doable. So I'm happy and even kind of somewhat glad that I didn't go for that 308 because my goal was a PR. Alrighty, so at this point, Luke is what, 4 for 6, I'm 5 for 6. We're going on to everybody's favorite lift, the deadlift, correct? Now at this point, GoPro and camera died. So the footage that we've got is a little bit better. It's from both Luke's and Luke's family's phones. But basically, here's kind of what happened with our deadlift in the nutshell. Keep in mind, I had not done really anything in the 500s since Raw Nationals last year, so since of October of 2015. Just been having some little, not really injuries per se, but just, as my Australian clients say, that little niggles, I got a little niggle in my lat. Every time that I really pack my shoulders and get into position to start my deadlift, my lat kind of sometimes gives me a little stabbing pain. So yeah, I mean, the most I had done was 495 for a double, basically on my last, the ending of my last block of training. So I wanted to start conservative and really kind of keep a conservative approach through the whole thing. If my opener on deadlift, which was 497 pounds, felt pretty rough on me, I wasn't even going to go a second or third attempt. So mine was pretty darn easy. And so I went ahead and decided to make a jump to, I believe, 520, it was either 518 or 520 something. Luke, his opener went very well. 380 pounds was pretty darn easy. Unfortunately, like I said, no footage of those. But we've got Luke's second attempt and then both of our third attempts. So my second attempt, again, was pretty darn easy. No issues there. Luke's second attempt did not go well at all. You're going to see here, for whatever reason, he had issues. We jumped from 380 all the way up to 418, I believe. 418 or 419. And that weight may as well have been bolted to the floor. Like I told you, my second attempt was very, very doable. I felt comfortable going for a new PR on my final attempt. Again, a little bit reluctant, so I was a little bit on the conservative side. My old PR was 535 pounds. Keep in mind, I passed out after that attempt at Raw Nationals. Had a vasovagal response. I didn't get all my sodium back in me from the weight cut. And I just had a drop in blood pressure and down I went. That's, I believe, in last year's vlog. I think it's number 25, I believe. But anyway, I went ahead, I'm going to go for a conservative PR here. I'm going to go for 540.1 pounds. I believe that's 245. And I was sipping water with salt in it the whole time just to make sure. And no issues on the first two attempts at all. So Luke, a little bit rattled, was basically telling me he was out of energy, out of just wasted. But you know, being the coach that I am, I kept his head. I knew he could get it. He just, to me, looked like he was trying to lift the bar on his second attempt. So got my platform coaching skills out, told him, you know what, think backwards. I'm going to give you a quick little coach up here, and then I want you to go basically drink some apple juice or something. But I want you to think not we're lifting the bar. I want you to think the bar is motionless, and then drive your feet into the floor as if you're actually trying to break the platform underneath you. Then, once you feel that bar coming up, I want you to think knees apart, knees apart, knees apart the whole time. Okay, go get yourself something to drink. So here's our third attempts, both mine and Luke's. You're going to see Luke's, the coaching that I gave Luke worked. And then, of course, my third attempt, again, keeping in mind I was a little bit conservative because I had not touched these lifts. I actually slowed down toward the top of the lift to make it look harder than it really was. So here's our third attempts.
You got this, Crush!
All right, so there you go. There is the USAPL Nevada State West Coast Classic. You're gonna hear, or you did hear, all the way through that thing, all these Nevada State, records, etc. I'm not a Nevada resident. I live in California. I just work over here a couple days of the week. So none of mine are going to go in the record books as Nevada State records. But nonetheless, this was a fantastic meet. It was a great meet experience. I had a lot of fun, not only coaching Luke, but then also my family was there. They came down from Oregon to watch. My dad, basically 10 days from back surgery. In fact, now that I think about it, you can actually see them on my bench press attempts with their little phones out there getting video footage of me. But yeah, great meet. Basically lifetime PR squat, lifetime PR deadlift, and then a lifetime PR 1,275 pounds total. And won my class, the 83 kg Master 1 class. Also won best overall Masters lifter, which keep in mind, there were some pretty good lifters in that Masters class. And that felt very, very privileged, to come out on top of that Masters overall best lifter. So where do we go from here? Essentially, looking at my Wilks and looking at the competition, it's probably going to behoove me to go ahead and cut down to the 74 kg class. So if I can get 166 to 167 pounds, I can easily make weight through a water cut. Keep in mind, I'll be a little bit more mindful of my sodium intake the day of the meet. But overall goal here, big picture goal, somewhat lofty. But if I can maintain my strength, possibly get the 15-ish kilos that I left on the platform at this meet, and the 74 kg class, I'd be looking at a 1,300 pound total, which is essentially an elite total for a 74 kg lifter. Something I've been striving for a long time, and that's kind of the goal. So unless I see something in my competition that will, benefit me to stay in the 83 kg class, I'm thinking I'm going to start cutting now, so I can cut very, very slow using the strategies that I outlined, the very same strategies that I outlined in my gaining strength while dropping body weight series. And then we're going to leave the programming in Coach Helms' hands, because obviously what we did worked very, very well. I haven't been in the gym since basically the meet, and I've got a bit of a hankering to get in there today and at least get going on something. Coach Helms' orders: just get in the gym, do something, take the week off if you want to. I'm about ready to get back into the gym. So I'm going to start documenting the next mesocycle of training, and hope you enjoy that as I'm going through that. Documenting the whole weight cut, whole 9 yards on the way. So hopefully it will reveal a lot of good information. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more to come.